Hello, my name's Jane Bradley and this is my model Sky, and I'm going to show you how to use the entire Lolo Cosmetics range so that when your customers come into store you'll be able to answer any of the questions they might have. I'm going to start by showing you the BB cream. This comes in 3 shades and I'm going to choose the middle shade, which is light. So there's fair, light and medium. Now if you look at Sky, you'll see that her face actually is quite a bit paler than her neck and her décolletage. So what you must do is make sure that the face matches this area here. Otherwise you get what I call a floating face, so it doesn't look like it belongs to the body. So you want it to be all the same colour, which is why I am choosing this lovely warm creamy shade. The BB cream is nourishing. It feels beautiful on the skin and is great for those people who just want a nice natural glow, if they don't want to look made up at all, but just want to blur any imperfections that they might have in their skin. You just apply it with your fingers. You don't need a brush or a sponge or anything. It's super easy to use. Making sure that you go everywhere, into the corners of the nose, under the eyes. And don't forget to apply it on the eyelids as well. So just close your eyes, thank you. Like so. It's super easy. So you can wear it on its own if you like, and then if you have any other little imperfections you want coloured, that's when you can use your concealer. Or if you want to use it underneath the mineral foundation, which you can, wait till it dries and then apply that on top. And this just gives you an extra layer of moisture and a little extra layer of cover. But it's as easy as that. As you can see, I've just taken off the BB cream because I wanted to show you how to use the other products and how the foundation looks without the BB cream underneath. But before you start applying your foundation, there are areas of the skin that you're going to need to correct. So we have 2 great products, 2 correctors. One is called Peepo, which takes care of things like under eye circles and pigmentation. And the other is called Blush Away, and this has a green tone to it. And the green will counteract any little red marks on the skin, like this. So you do the correcting before you apply the foundation. You can use a socket brush, the concealer brush, or the tapered eye brush, whichever one you have to hand or you prefer using. But generally speaking, the larger the area, the bigger the brush. So the concealer brush might be good for under the eyes, and these smaller brushes will work for the more detailed work that you want to achieve. So I'm going to use a tapered eye brush to take care of these little red blemishes on Sky's face, and I'm using the Blush Away. I've dispensed a little bit into the lid, you don't need much, and I'm just swirling the brush into the Blush Away like that. And then I'm targeting the little areas here. This is why a small brush is good, because really there's no need to swirl it all over the face, it's just on these targeted areas. However, if you do suffer from rosacea or high colouring, so your skin's quite pink, I recommend using a slightly bigger brush, and then you can cover larger areas. So now I'm going to show you how to use the Peepo, and you can see it has a yellow tone to it, but this is great for counteracting under eye circles or any kind of pigmentation in the skin. Now because I've got a larger area, I'm going to use a concealer brush. And you can see I'm just dabbing it into the Peepo here, tap off the excess, and then if you just look up, Sky, I'm just sweeping that underneath the eye. And then build up as much as you need. And you can see that it's just starting to neutralise that dark area and just bring a bit of lightness, and actually the yellowness goes, and once you have the foundation on top you won't detect any of the Peepo or the Blush Away. I'll just do the other eye. So you can see it's really made a difference under the eyes. I don't need to apply the Peepo anywhere else because Sky doesn't really have any more pigmentation to cover. But any yellowness or any greenness from the blush away as well will soon disappear when you get the foundation on top. So what we're doing now is we're creating the groundwork before the foundation goes on, and then she's going to look flawless. Now it's time to show you how to use the mineral foundation. It comes in 18 shades and has an SPF of 15, so it's going to give you an extra bit of protection from the sun, which is brilliant. If you have dry skin, I do advise using your moisturiser and letting it just sink in for a couple of minutes before you apply the foundation. Now the best way to apply the foundation is by using one of the kabuki brushes. We have a large kabuki and what we call a baby kabuki. So the baby kabuki is great for those little areas like around the nose here and under the eyes. But really, if you like using the larger one, there's no hard fast rule. It's a personal choice. So I think I'm going to use a baby one. You can see I've already used it, so I'm going to use that. As with the BB cream, as I mentioned before, you must make sure that the foundation matches the décolletage and the neck area, or you're going to get the wrong colour face for your body, and it must be seamless. So while Sky actually does have quite a fair skin, she needs a darker base than you would think. So I'm using warm peach. So you take your kabuki brush, I have tapped some product into the lid, and you swirl the brush into the lid like that. Tap off the excess. And then you apply it in circular motions. So I like to start at the jaw and work across the face like so. In lovely buffing circular motions. It feels really lovely to apply. Like a mini massage, isn't it, Sky? Going across the chin, making sure it's blended on the jaw like so. And what I like to do is I like to apply a layer so I get some nice even coverage, and then anywhere where I feel like I need a little bit of extra, I can go over the top. Under the eyes like so, keep swirling. And you see that colour is absolutely perfect for Sky, and now her face looks like it belongs to her body. Sorry, Sky. Taking that across the forehead, making sure you softly just make sure it goes into the hairline so you don't get any kind of light halo. And it just gives this really beautiful, soft, luminescent finish to the skin. Don't forget your eyelids, because if you're going to apply eyeshadow as well, you're going to need a little bit of base on your eyelids as well. Plus, if you forget them, they can look a little bit pink and make you look tired. So you want a nice seamless cover everywhere on the face. So now I've got a nice even cover. I'm just going to check for any areas that need a little bit of extra coverage. So if you just come to me this way, just see along here, I just need a little bit more. So you can build up the colour and build up the coverage. And those are really starting to disappear properly now. But really a little bit does go a long way, so your customers are really going to get great value for money as well. And get an absolutely flawless finish to their skin. Okay. A little bit more under the eyes, I think. Better. Beautiful. Easy. Now I'm going to apply the concealer, and this comes in 4 shades, and I'm going to use Nude on Sky. I'm using the concealer brush, which you can see is this nice fluffy brush here, and I've tapped a little of the product into the lid, and so you dip your brush in, swirl it around, tap off the excess, and then apply. So this is going under the eyes, where I just feel like we need a little bit more light. And just blend it into the base like so. And just keep topping your brush up as and when you need it until you get the desired effect. And out of this eye. And then if you want, just sweep the concealer down just a little bit here into this triangle, making sure the edges are all blended really nicely. And that just makes sure that you have a nice seamless transition from the concealer to your foundation. And if there are any other little areas you feel just need a bit of extra help, just dab a little bit of concealer on there as well, making sure you always blend the edges. And that's it, a really lovely, flawless skin using the corrector, using the foundation and using the concealers. Once you've applied your foundation, you might want to use one of our finishing powders, which are going to give you a slightly different look to your foundation. So as a foundation is now, it has a nice natural skin finish. But if you want something slightly more dewy, I recommend using either our translucent silk or our flawless silk finishing powders, both of which are going to give you more of a glowy look. They give you a soft focus effect, they're going to blur imperfections, they're going to help the makeup stay on longer, give it more staying power, and generally just give you a nice glowiness. So I'm going to show you how the translucent silk works. I've already tapped some product into the lid, and I'm using our powder brush to apply it because I want to have a nice light dusting all over the skin. So in the powder brush goes, I'm swirling it in the lid, tap off the excess, and I'm going to sweep this lightly over the face. Now you can apply it just on the high points of your face if you like the top of the cheekbones, forehead, centre of the nose, but I just wanted to show you how this looks swept all over the face. It just gives you a little bit of an extra glow. So it means if, for instance, for the daytime your customers want more of a matte finish, they don't need to use this, but for an evening when they're going out, they want something a little bit more punchy, this is going to look beautiful. And once this is applied, then you just carry on with your regular makeup application. There we go, super simple, glowy. So the translucent silk, as you can see, there's no colour in it. The flawless silk has a very soft kind of peachy tone to it, which is going to warm the complexion very slightly. So really the choice is yours. If you have a darker skin tone, you're going to be able to wear this because it doesn't have any pigment in. If you have a lighter skin tone, want warming up, perhaps you need to go for the flawless silk instead. As for the flawless matte, this is great if you have a particularly oily skin and you can actually apply it underneath your foundation before you apply your foundation, and it's going to give you a little bit more assurance that you're not going to get breakthrough oil throughout the day. You can of course use it on top of the foundation as well. And also if you have a mature skin, it's really good at lightly smoothing out very fine lines on your face. And if you use that before your foundation, you'll find you get a smoother application. So now you've created a really flawless base, you need to put a little bit of character back in because you can look a bit bland if you don't. So it needs to put a little bit of light and shade. And this is where the Sculpt and Glow palette comes into its own. It's one of my favourite products in the range and I couldn't live without it. The dark shade is to increase any shadows under the cheekbones and frame the face a little bit, and the light shade is where you apply it to the high points that give you that gorgeous glow when you move and your face catches the light. I'm going to use a tapered contour brush and I'm starting with a darker shade and I'm going to apply this under the cheekbones, and it's quite key to know where these colours go because they don't go where the blusher goes. So you simply just brush into the darker shade like so, and you build up the colour bit by bit and you just sweep it under the cheekbone like this and up and onto the bone like that. You don't want to create a hard line. And then just gently sweeping it. I've not got much on the brush and you can see it's just giving us this really beautiful contour. And then do the same the other side. Load the brush up again. Under the bone here. And then up so that you don't get any hard edges. When you're applying this, you just keep checking in the mirror to make sure that you don't have any harsh lines and that it's blended nicely. Take a little into the hairline as well, because this just gives your face more of a 3D feel, so it doesn't look flat. Just keep dabbing back into the palette and sweeping along. It's nice on the temples like this. And I also like to use it down the sides of the nose. Now, because this brush is nice and fluffy and soft, you can actually get away with it. But if you want something a bit more precise, you can use one of the smaller brushes. But I think just a gentle, soft sweep gives us a nice, natural bit of contouring with no hard edges. If you have a pointed chin and you just want to soften that, just dust this along the bottom of the chin as well, for instance. And now you can see we're just starting to get a really nice, soft bit of contour to the face without it looking scary. And now we're going to go into the light colour, the highlight, which is really absolutely beautiful. It's very fine, so it's not glittery or sparkly. It literally looks like you have dewy, radiant skin. I'm going to apply the lighter shade with our fan brush. Now this is great for applying products like this, but it's also great for if you get fallout from eyeshadow and little flecks on your face, you can just flick it away without getting the makeup smudged. I wouldn't live without one of these in my makeup kit. It's brilliant. So just sweep that there. Now this colour goes onto the top of the cheekbone here because your blusher is going to go here. So just sweep that along. Feels nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sending you to sleep. And you can build it as much as you like. There you see, it's just giving us that beautiful, beautiful highlight, that healthy, glowy, youthful, dewy look that everybody loves. And then a little bit down the centre of the nose, why not? And I also like to pop a little bit just on top of the lip, because this gives the illusion of a slightly fuller lip. Like the light is bouncing off there. If you want, a little bit under the brow. Anywhere that you just want a little bit of light in the face. And that just gives you a really beautiful, glowy, gorgeous skin. Now I'm going to demonstrate our loose mineral blushes, which are absolutely beautiful. They come in 13 shades and they range from a matte finish to a shimmer finish, so you can select what you want. But I want to show you how to use two shades which give the cheeks a kind of a 3D effect. much in the same way as our pressed cheek duos do. You can apply the blushes either using our tapered contour brush or our blusher brush, but I'm just going to try using our tapered contour brush. I've decided to start using a matte shade, and this one is called Beach Babe. So I've tapped a little into the lid, swirl it around, and then just get rid of the excess off the brush like that. And then on the apple of the cheek, which is the fullest part of the cheek here, I'm going to place the colour and sweep it along towards the ear. So it's going in the direction of the ear. Just come this way a little. So you see you've got your contour colour here, your highlight colour on top, and this is where the blusher sits. And a little bit goes a long way, so this really is going to last your customers. You get really good value for money, so you can afford to buy 2 or 3 shades and mix mattes with shimmers, which I'm just going to show you in a moment. Just going to the other side, the apple of the cheek, in a nice buffing motion, going out towards the ear. And that blends beautifully with your contouring that you've done before. Have a little look. And now I'm going to put a shimmer shade on where it'll show you how to achieve a kind of 3D effect. So now the shimmery shade, I've chosen Cherry Blossom because it's of a similar hue to the other one. It's kind of a lovely, soft, peachy colour, so it's great if you have a bit of a tan as well. I'm using the fan brush because I just want a little touch of it. Just turn this way, Sky. And you apply that just to the top of the apple of the cheek. So you're not putting it all over where you've put the matte shade, you're putting it on the upper part of where you've put the matte shade. And this is when you get that nice 3D rounded effect, something which mineral makeup is absolutely brilliant for. The way it catches a light is going to give you something really special. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'll match it up on the other side. The tiniest bit, just on the top there. That's all you need. So now we've completed the skin, we've evened it out, we've got blusher, we've got contouring, we've got highlighting. Now you have a base to work from and you can add anything you like. So I think first of all we'll start off with the brows. So we have this fantastic brow duo which comes in 3 different shades. This is the medium. So you get the colour on one side here, and this is a setting wax on the other side. I'm going to apply the brow duo using the angled brow spoolie. And this has 2 ends. It has an end here, which you can brush your brows through with, or you can brush your lashes through with after you've applied mascara. And then it has this other end, which is angled, really firm hairs, which are going to get between your eyebrow hairs. A soft brush won't do the job in this case. You need a specific brush to get any kind of powder into the eyebrows. And this is going to colour the brows, give them shape, give them form, and frame your face. So first of all, I'm going to take the angled end of the brush, dip it into the powder, and then you want to just gently just run it through the brows using a little at a time to give you the most nice natural finish. I mean, Sky's really lucky because she has amazing brows, obviously. But just here, I think we can just perfect them a little bit more. Just fill in any little gaps, like so. Now using the spoolie end of the brush, run the colour through your brows just to make sure you have a nice even distribution, like so. And then we'll do the other side. Again, a little at a time. Apply through the hairs, onto the skin, and then fill in any little gaps. Then when you're happy with that, use a spoolie end once again to go through and make sure any powder is distributed evenly and you get a lovely looking brow. Now going back to the angled end of the spoolie brush, I'm dipping it in the wax and just going through the eyebrow hairs like so. And this will give them a nice soft glossy finish and make sure the brows stay in place. Finally, with the spoolie end, just make sure you've got a nice clean top line. Before you start applying eyeshadow, it's a really good idea to use our eye primer because this is going to help prolong the wear of your eyeshadow and also intensify the pigment of the eyeshadow. So if you want something that's a little bit more punchy, this is really great. So it comes in a compact with two sides. We have a lemon side and a buff side. The buff side will just neutralise any colour in the lid, and the lemon side is great if you have any kind of pinkiness around the eye, and that's just going to really smooth things out beautifully. I think I'm just going to use the buff side. Using your finger, and you don't need very much at all, you just smooth along the eyelid and just blend it out to the edges there. This is going to really help the colour grab onto the eyelid, and the same for the other side. And you put this on top of your foundation. So after you've made it your face and you've put your foundation on top of your eyes and everything, this goes on top. Now that's just a little bit, and that's just blended out. And now we're ready for any eyeshadow we want to put on. We have a really great range of pressed eyeshadows and loose mineral eyeshadows, but I'm going to use the loose mineral shadows because you can use them in 2 or 3 ways. You can use them wet, and you can use them dry, and you can use them mixed into other things to create other bespoke things that are customized just for you. So let's start with the eyeshadow. The shade I've chosen for Sky is called Soul Sister because I wanted to choose some nice natural earth tones because they suit most people, and most women will be drawn to these because they're really wearable shades, and also they'll suit Sky's colouring. So I've tapped a little bit of the eyeshadow into the lid, and I'm using our eyeshadow brush. Now this is quite a firm, wide brush. I'll just show you that against my hand. And this is really good for what we call laying down colour. So this is when you want to get a nice bulk colour over the lid. Now a little at a time because you don't want it to drop. So make sure you swirl the brush and tap off any excess. Just hold that for me a sec, thanks. And then I'm going to sweep this all over the eyelid. A little at a time, building as you go along. A little bit more in the brush and close. And these do give the most beautiful shimmer and sheen on the eyes. I'm going to take it up into the socket there and just beyond. Let's have a look. And that's a really beautiful wearable colour, and I'm just going to repeat that on the other side. Not too much on the brush. And close. There we go. And I'm sweeping that colour across. This is particularly nice with light colour eyes, so blue or green eyes look absolutely gorgeous with these sort of shades. Just blend any edges away with your finger if you need to. Let's have a look. And that's just a really nice soft colour, but I want to intensify it a bit, so I'm going to go into my second shade. The second shade I'm using is a darker, more chocolatey shade, and this is called Moonlight, and I'm using the tapered eye brush, which is this brush here. This gives us a little bit more accuracy and a little bit more control. I've emptied a bit into the lid, swirling that around, tapping off the excess. Can you hold that please, Sky? And I'm going to apply that on this outer third of the eye here. Into the socket and around there, just for a little bit more definition. At this stage, you don't have to be too accurate because we have a really great blending brush that's going to help you blend these shades together seamlessly. But I'm just going to add the same colour on the other eye. On this outer third, bring it up. Like so. And then get the tapered blending brush, which you can see has a longer bristle on it, and it's really soft and it has this lovely kind of domed edge, which means you can get into the socket and you can blend it and get really gorgeous seamless edges. So there's no colour on this, and this is what you're going to use just to blend those edges like that seamlessly, like so. Then if you need to go back, if you want any deeper colour intensity, then you can just go back with a darker colour again. And then blend again. The great key to eyeshadow is to blend, 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 blend. And with these minerals, they just work seamlessly together. Open. Underneath the eye, I'd like to have a little bit of colour there as well, but you're going to need a brush that's going to have a little bit more precision still. And I am using the tapered eye brush, like so, and I'm going to dip it back into that darker shade, the Moonlight. Swirl it around, tap off the excess, and just look up for me. And just run that under the eye. And this helps you get the colour right into the lash line, and you can blend it out. A little bit more on the other side. Make sure you haven't got any hard edges anywhere. See? Make sure both the sides are the same. And now I think we're ready for a bit of eyeliner. But I'm not going to use eyeliner, I'm going to use foiled mineral eyeshadows. And I'm going to show you how to mix them so you can create a nice line. And then if you want, you can put them all over the eyes. So when you're going out to a party, you can get a really gorgeous, stunning, shimmery eyeshadow all over the eye. To foil a mineral eyeshadow, you need to mix it with some form of liquid. And the perfect mixing medium is our makeup mist. I'll tell you about this more in a minute, but for now I'm going to show you how you can use it to mix with the eyeshadows. So I'm going to spray a little bit of the makeup mist into the lid where I've got the eyeshadow. Just a little at a time. I'm going to apply this using our eyeliner smudger brush, which has two ends. It has an end here, which is like a sponge kind of round end, which is great for smudging eye pencils and things like that. But on the other end, it has a flat angled brush as well. Now this is perfect for eyeliner and especially perfect for doing this job. So I'm going to dip that into the soon to be foiled eyeshadow and mix it into a nice paste, and then I'm going to draw a nice sharp eyeline on. So dip the flat angled edge of that brush into the foiled eyeshadow and then use it like you would a liquid eyeliner. And you can see, even though this is the same eyeshadow that I've used on the outer part of the eye, suddenly it's this beautiful, rich, shiny chocolate colour. And voila, you have instant eyeliner. And you can do this with any of the shades. If you wanted to create, just close your eyes, darling. If you wanted to create just a really simple eye, you could do this with a bright blue or a bright green and just lots of mascara. It look really cool, really modern. So it's a really good way of enticing your customers to buy more shades and experiment. I love the way these look. Let's see. Gorgeous. And to finish off the eyeshadow, I'm using the same technique using a shade called Vanilla Shimmer. Now this looks gorgeous on its own, but when you foil it, just a little placed in the corner of the eye here looks absolutely gorgeous. Open. Before I apply the mascara, I just want to finish off using one of our lovely eye pencils. These come in 2 shades. This is the brown and it also comes in black. They're non-drying, so they're really easy to use. And if you wanted to set them, you can just use a similar colour eyeshadow over the top if you wanted. But I'm going to use this in the waterline because I want this really soft, gorgeous, smoky eye. So here goes. Look, they go on super easily. Take that all the way along there. And now the other side. The sharper you keep your pencil, the better they'll perform. Ooh, lovely. Before you apply your mascara, now's the time you want to apply our makeup mist, because this is going to set your makeup, prolong its wear, hydrate the skin and refresh you. You can use it actually any time throughout the day as well, so pop it in your handbag. It's a really great thing to have on you at all times, especially in the heat. So give it a shake and then hold it about 20 centimeters away from your face and spray about 4 times. So if you'd like to close your eyes, Sky. There we go. And then just let that settle onto the skin. It'll bind all the minerals together and ensure it really stays on all day. Feels good too, huh? Yeah. Finally, to finish off the eyes, we're going to use our lovely natural mascara. It only comes in 1 shade, black, but as far as I'm concerned, it's the only shade you need because it looks great on everyone. Has this really wonderful spiral brush. Now if you look down, Sky, when you're applying the mascara, wiggle the wand at the roots and pull through the lashes. This ensures that you don't get a top-heavy application which could pull the lashes down if you've curled them, and gives you a lovely build-up of colour. And this side, look down. Applying 1 coat to one eye, the second coat to the other eye, and then before the first coat's dried, then go back to the other eye and build your second coat. Have a look, and look down again. If you have any lashes that happen to stick together or any little blobs of mascara, you can easily run them through with a spoolie brush. And look down. And this is just going to finish off your eye makeup beautifully. Let's have a look. Beautiful. Of course you can put mascara on the bottom lashes if you like, but that's just a personal choice. Obviously now the final thing to complete the look is to do the lips. But what I love to do, no matter what I do to the lips, is to highlight the top of the lip, the Cupid's bow, to give the illusion of a fuller top lip. And the perfect thing for that is our Sculpt and Glow palette when it comes back into its own again. So I'm using the lip brush and just using a little bit of the highlight shade and just popping that along the top of the lip here. This is an old makeup artist trick, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. And a little bit just under the bottom there. Now we need a bit of lip liner to frame the lips. Even if you're just doing a very natural look, just to very gently frame the lips with a bit of lip liner looks gorgeous, and it just finishes your face off nicely. So I'm using a soft nude shade to kind of go with these lovely nudie colours I'm using. keep your pencil nice and sharp and lightly outline the lips. I'm barely using any pressure because you don't want actually a thick, heavy line because that's just going to look really kind of dated. I'm just very lightly stroking it on. Soften the edge with the finger if you have to. Add a little to the corners. Now what you could do is just use a nice clear lip gloss over there on one of our gorgeous lipsticks for a really dramatic look. But I wanted to show you something different because everybody knows how to put a lipstick on. Everybody knows how to put a lip gloss on. But I want to show you how to use one of our lip glosses mixed with one of our loose mineral eyeshadows to make a custom blended lip gloss for you. The lip gloss comes in 9 shades, and this is the clear, although it does have a little hint of colour in it, but it does also mean that you can add whatever colour you like to it. So I'm going to mix this with a vanilla shimmer loose eyeshadow. I'm going to put some of this on the back of my hand. Like so. I'm going to swap with Sky, who's holding the eyeshadow. I'm going to tip that into there. If you hold that, please. And then with a lip brush, blend those colours together to create a custom blended lip gloss. And this is the same eyeshadow that I've used in the corner of the eyes here. So there's going to be a lovely synchronicity between the eyes and the lips. And you can do this with any of the more pinky, light, shimmery shades. They'll work beautifully. So you're really making your makeup multitask for you. The eyeshadows really do so many different things, and it's just a nice little take on the lip gloss. Super simple, super effective, and then if we want, just add a little bit of extra shimmer on the bottom lip. Easy peasy and custom made. And now the look's complete, you can see how beautiful a full face of our Lolo mineral makeup can look. And even though it has layers of concealers and colour correctors and foundations and blushes and everything, the overall effect is that actually of a really natural looking, flawless skin. It doesn't look thick, it doesn't look heavy, it doesn't look caked, and most of all as well, it doesn't feel it, does it, Sky? Everybody I work with loves this makeup, and this is just a really lovely, simple, summery look, but the sky's the limit. The colours are there. All you have to do is use your imagination. If you'd like to create a bronze look after you've completed your foundation, we have a lovely range of bronzers and illuminators for you to choose, and we have pressed versions and loose versions. So the best way for me to show you how to apply these and how they look is to do loose version on one side and the pressed version on the other side. Okay, so you can apply these using either of these brushes really. We have the blusher brush here and the bronzer brush. You can also, if you like, use a powder brush. I mean, really with makeup, you know, you can use what you like, so it's down to the customer's personal preference. But I think I'm going to use these brushes today. I'm going to start with using the loose bronzers and highlighters. And this is South Beach, which is more of a matte shade. The other two shades are more shimmery, which are beautiful to highlight the skin. So I've dispensed some into the lid, as with all the other minerals that we're using, and swirling the brush around, loading it up and tapping off the excess. Let's come this way a little. So you want to apply the bronzer where the sun would naturally catch you. So that's usually around the hairline, top of the cheekbones, bridge of the nose. And a little bit around here. You can use it to sculpt the face a little if you like. Using nice light motions, go right across the cheeks here. The sun usually catches you across the top of your cheeks here. So this is where you want to have that nice bronze colour. And because it's not too shimmery, it just looks really natural and lovely. Bring it around the temples in a nice 3 shape. Bridge of the nose, tip of the chin. And now I'll do the other side using the pressed bronzer. I'm going to use the Miami Beach pressed bronzer on this side of Sky's face, but there are also 3 shades of these as well. So that's 3 shades of the compact bronzers and 3 shades of the loose bronzers. So again, using the blush brush, I'm going to apply it in exactly the same way. But this way you obviously don't have to knock it off the brush, you can go straight from the compact. Bring it across the face, across the cheek where the sun would hit you to give you that lovely, believable glow, and then in the 3. Slightly on the jaw. Let's have a look. And the effect, as you see, is very similar. It really depends what you want, what your customers want. It's great if you travel a lot and you're moving around a bit. The compact version is brilliant for your handbag, and it has a mirror in as well. The loose version, however, will last you years probably. So one is fantastic value because you'll have it forever, and this is great to carry around. But you'll see the effect is actually really rather similar. It's a case of personal preference, really. So now we need to illuminate that. So this is where we put the light shades in. Otherwise you just have like a 2-tone face. It's nice to get those highlights in there to really give it a bit of zing. Now we're going to use our loose mineral shimmer in Stardust. It's the only shade, but you won't need another shade because it gives the most perfect highlight to the cheeks. I'm going to use our taper blending brush, swirl it around in the lid, and just tap the excess off. And this goes along the top of the cheekbones, like so. We can pop a little bit on the end of the nose, just a little bit on the chin, a little bit on the forehead there, just to give you that gorgeous, healthy, beautiful glow. And you can build this with your bronzer. If you feel like you need to get a little bit browner, then go back with your bronzer and just keep building it until you get just the right look that you're after. But I'll just show you one of our pressed illuminators on the other side. The pressed illuminators come in 2 shades, bronzed and champagne. So if you have a fairer skin, the champagne is going to work beautifully. But if you have a more honey toned skin, maybe mixed race skin, then this shade is going to look beautiful on you. But obviously I'm going to use the lighter shade on Sky because she's fair. Using the tapered blusher brush again, swirling it across the palette and sweeping that along the top of the cheekbones again. And exactly where you would place a loose shimmer, the Stardust, tip of the nose. So you can see the effect is very similar. Again, it's personal preference, and the application and the positioning are about the same. The only thing I would do is go back and now add a little bit more bronze to warm the face up a bit more. But otherwise, that's generally how you use those products.